Hey guys, if you haven't already, give the video a like, subscribe to my channel. This is a what if series and I'll be doing more down the road. Plus Ultra! Hey guys, and welcome to What If Naruto Was the Reincarnation of Miyamoto Masashi. Now, this is a character mainly from the world of Baki. And separate from Baki, Miyamoto Masashi is a legendary samurai, and stated by him, there's nothing he can't cut. He's said to be invincible. Now, Miyamoto Masashi, as in the folklore or the story goes, that he went undefeated. His technique and his sword was so strong, his training was so strong that it wasn't an opponent that could match up to his strength. It's like he was a prodigy from birth, born with strength, needless to say. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this story about Naruto being the reincarnation of Miyamoto Masashi. If you guys like this story and then you want me to continue the series, it's possibly going to be the full story all the way up until the point when Naruto goes with Jiraiya for the 2-year time skip. So, yeah. Anyway, just kick back, relax, and you guys in for a treat. Now, this is mainly going to be it's going to be mainly gory. Not gory too much, but it's going to take some elements from Baki. Now, if some of you don't know what Baki is like a fighting type anime. It's on Netflix. It's hard to explain, but it's some of the characters on there, and one of the characters that I really do like that would fit in the Naruto world is Miyamoto Masashi. I like his technique, and I want to see how, if Naruto grew up with his technique, he was a reincarnation of this character, how would everything play out? Now, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let's begin. Now, Naruto will be at the age of 5 years old, who has shoulder-length blonde hair and is abnormal for a 5-year-old. Now, Naruto would be wearing a long-sleeve dark blue shirt with some black long pants and some ninja shoes. And that would be his attire. Now, when I say that Naruto is an abnormal 5-year-old, being above most of his peers, he likes feeling the use of a sword. The swing of it, the motion, the way it just whips through the air. But what he loves more is the feel of cutting. No matter what it is, no matter what it is, Naruto loves the feel of cutting. He pretty much ignores the people of the village shooting him death glares. Doesn't really bother him much. Until one day they tried to attack him. Naruto would give off a bloodlust so potent that villagers that were trying to hurt him passed out due to fear. One of the ninjas could have sworn they seen an exploding volcano behind the boy before unconsciousness overtook him. Now, Naruto views this as they were too weak, and thus he didn't feel the need to cause harm to the villagers. Hiruzen would be very interested in the kid, because his sword skills for a child is really incredible, like high getting, low Chunin. Ever since Naruto got his hands on the sword, he's been practicing and focusing so hard on taijutsu training. Naruto's personality is to himself, distant from the village, because of their hatred towards him, and he really doesn't want anything to do with them, since all they do is bear bad words towards him or try to cause harm to him, and he ends up having to defend himself. Now, Naruto really doesn't care about their opinions. His main goal is to get stronger and train harder. He's very straightforward, and he has a strong ambition with being the strongest in the world, to stand at the top. Due to the Nine Tails being inside Naruto, he has an incredible sense of danger, and he knows when a battle is life-threatening or not. He can tell when an opponent is trying to kill him, basically, by reading their fight patterns. Anyway, for a 5-year-old, his senses was high. Being chased by the villagers sometimes made Naruto focus on speed and endurance. He even had to kill 3 Jonin. And no, I'm not going to say that he came out of this battle unscathed. No, he was battle damaged, dripping blood. Naruto would have a few cuts from his arm, on his chest. In his eyes, he sees these wounds as battle scars. And for a 5-year-old, his mind shifted. When he turned 8 years old, Naruto spent 3 years practicing. I'm stuttering all over the place. He spent 3 years practicing the way of the sword, even asking Hiruzen, the third Hokage, for a few tips. And if he could fight a strong sword user. That's not gonna happen, Naruto. There are some very strong swordsmen out there, and Naruto cuts him off. That's the point. I won't become stronger unless I fight someone who has mastered swordsplay. I want to learn the way of the sword, GG, by fighting people who have trained as swordsmen. And I think I got a pretty good list so far, Naruto said. Hiruzen would raise an eyebrow. I spent time studying, learning, and gaining knowledge mostly about the ninja world and various other topics. I have full control of my chakra. Had to train very hard to master chakra control, but not as to an extent as a regular ninja. The Nine Tails didn't make it easy, but I succeeded. Now, Hiruzen would be shocked to hear that Naruto knows about the Nine Tails. Naruto, how much do you know about the beast inside you? Hiruzen would ask. Naruto's face would go cold, and his eyes were motionless. That gave Hiruzen chills. Well, a good amount. I'm surprised that you kept a secret like this from me. The fact that the village treat me like trash, call me a demon. I mean, it all makes sense. Naruto took off his shirt. Look at my body, old man. You see these scars? Growing up has been pure hell for me. My life has been nothing but war. Let's just say that it only took me 3 days to train and master chakra control. But enough on that. I'm not mad about the experience or anything about the villagers spewing nonsense at me. I have no grudge against any one of them or even you. I'm pretty sure you had your reasons for keeping it a secret from me. I'm pretty sure you didn't want me to go berserk and release this beast inside of me, causing mayhem in the village. Whatever the reason was, I could care less. The only thing I'm more concerned with, Gigi, is getting stronger and honing my skills. Anyway, I had also picked up a technique that allows me to cut without a sword. And I can boldly say that I'm nothing to underestimate when I have a sword in my hand. I'm also trying to create a new style for myself. 2 swords as one. I haven't really got it down yet, but I'm close. There is something that I do want to show you, Lord Third. Naruto walks up to Hiruzen, and in an instant he felt he was cut 6 times. Naruto, what was that? Hiruzen said, shaken up. It's my potential. I can cut an opponent without necessarily hurting them, just to inject fear. Anyway, Naruto sat back down, cross-legged. Well, you know, in the cross-leg, like, you know what I mean. Anyway, so Naruto sat back down, and then he pulled out a piece of paper from his pocket. I almost forgot. The 3 swordsmen that I want to fight on my list includes Kisame Hoshigaki, Zabuza Momochi, and Mifune, the samurai general of the Land of Iron. Hiruzen would be shocked hearing Naruto say this. I mean, these are some S-rank ninjas, and 2 of which are extremely dangerous. But as he's looking in the eyes of Naruto, he knows that the boy is dead serious. All right, Naruto, I'll make you a deal. You are to graduate from the academy at the top of your class, and then I can make that suggestion for you. Hopefully, with time, you'll change your mind, Hiruzen said. Well, that's most likely not going to happen, so I'm still going to take you up on that deal. Naruto smiled. Now, Naruto, your potential is something incredible. Nothing I have seen before, and I have seen some very talented shinobi, even in my heyday. Naruto would listen to the third's words and put his hand on his chin, thinking, well, let me see. Well, if I can't fight those 3 yet, since you made me that deal and you want me to wait till I graduate, I want to test my strength against... Sorry about that. I want to test my strength against the swordsmen in the village, meaning you and 3 others, possibly the Anbu, Naruto said, sitting down with his legs crossed. Okay, I can arrange that. Now, the crazy, smile would be on Naruto's face, and he would stand up. Okay, bye, Lord Third. I have a huge amount of training to do, and I have this strong urge to perfect the art of the sword, Naruto said while leaving Lord Third's office. He went to the training field and he focused more on taijutsu and kenjutsu. Now, Naruto has been learning jutsus to make himself more deadly, such as the multi-shadow clone jutsu, a few wind-style techniques that I'll explain more later on in the series. As Naruto was practicing, he started using weights around his arms and legs that weighed about 200 pounds each. And it's serving its purpose really well, helping Naruto with improving his speed and sword strikes. Now, he would continue doing this for 3 years. Now, Naruto's training regimen would be like push-ups, sit-ups, running around the village as much as he could, slashing, cutting with his sword, trying to perfect his two swords as one. He's also trying to perfect his taijutsu, get faster, also perfecting other traits, sort of mixing his bloodlust with genjutsu, so to make it project more as to see, basically he's manipulating the person's mind. So whatever image they see, that's what they're scared of, and it would be like an indication whether they would attack Naruto or not, seeming as if can they conquer their fear. Remember when I told you, we go, fast forward back, well, not too much, but remember when I said, the guy who passed out and seen an exploding volcano behind Naruto? Yeah, potentially, that was just, guy seeing Naruto's true projection as an exploding volcano. But most likely, I'm going to combine his, bloodlust with genjutsu, so that when he projects his bloodlust, the person that he's projecting it on will see the image as if it's their fear in front of them, if that makes sense. I'll explain more of that later on. Anyway, let's get back to the story. Now, as I said, Naruto would be doing this for 3 years, also keeping up with his academy stuff, being at the top of his class, even surpassing Minato Namikaze's scores. Naruto is aiming to be the top, and surpassing people like his peers before him, he sees that as a challenge, and he will do nothing, he will stop at nothing to stand at the top. His scores in the academy is by far impressive, so much impressive that even Hiruzen was shocked that Naruto outsmarted his father. Now, Hiruzen thinks or feels like Naruto is an exact image of Minato. By surpassing his scores, yes, that's exactly how Hiruzen sees Naruto. Now, on a certain day, this one blonde girl took an interest in Naruto, even sat by him in class, which shocked him. This girl is sitting next to him. I thought most of the village, if not all, hated me, but you, of most people, aren't afraid, Naruto said, looking at the blonde, which you all know as Ino, pretty sure, because I put the thing up in the comments, and I asked y'all what you guys wanted the ship to be, and most of you said Ino, so, yeah, it's an Ino ship for this one. So, nope, I had an eye on you for a while. You're really incredible, aren't you? Your skills, your technique is far above impressive, Ino said. Naruto didn't know whether to blush or be surprised that this girl was amazed by his training. Naruto then put his hand on his chin and started to think. This girl looks very familiar. Wait a second, I almost badly hurt you once. While I was training, I sent a sword slash trying to cut a tree in half, but I didn't know you were there, standing behind it until I felt your presence and chakra. I jumped in front of my own attack to save you. I forgot what gave me this scar, Naruto said with laughter. Now I remember you. How have you been, Ino? Naruto asks. I've been training. That experience traumatized me and made me realize how weak I really was. So I've been training as hard and as much as I could to get stronger. While taking some notes from you, I am grateful for that experience, Naruto. But I do have to confess, the main reason why I was watching you is because I had a crush on you, Ino said, face going red. Naruto was shocked to hear this. You have a crush on me? Wow. The way this village has treated me. You, out of all this hatred, have a crush on me? Naruto felt his heart skip a beat, as if hearing these words for the first time meant so much to him. He noticed he was blushing harder than Ino, which in turn gave Ino a clear answer that Naruto shared the same feelings for her. Now we're going to do a time skip to the graduation. This is where Naruto would excel in technique, speed, agility, kenjutsu, test everything passed with flying colors. Ninjutsu, genjutsu, taijutsu exceeded in all platforms, gaining him the title Rookie of the Year. Now, Naruto and Ino will be talking throughout the years. But keep in mind, he was at 11, so they spent most of their time talking, going on missions such as D-rank missions with each other. Even Naruto has suggested it to Hiruzen to give him some time off from academy and everything so that he could spend more time with his friend Ino. And as they've been talking and training together, Naruto sees that this girl has an impressive Kekkei Genkai, or just clan inheritance, like her mind transfer jutsu. He finds that really useful. Like, it could gather in a lot of information. She can invade a person's body and learn intel of enemy village, or if someone's planning an attack on the village. Naruto finds this girl very interesting, and her skills is nothing to laugh at. Now, as far as team placement, there's going to be a slight change. Team 7 is not going to have Sakura. It's going to have Hinata. Seeming as if I want to go a more useful route, and I'm already doing something with Ino, another useless character. I don't want to do something with Sakura too. That's just too much head work, and Sakura's already just, you already know. So anyway, without that being said, I'm going to focus on putting Hinata on Team 7 with Sasuke and Naruto. Now, this is going to be the Team 7, but before that, they did one final sparring match, and it was Naruto versus Sasuke. Now, this was before the whole graduation and everything. So the graduation is happening, and Naruto is going against Sasuke. Now, Sasuke blitzes Naruto. As soon as Iruka says begin, Sasuke blitzes Naruto and jumps up to land a kick directly on Naruto's face. Now, Naruto stands perfectly still and grabs Sasuke's leg. Now, Sasuke looking at Naruto, and most of the students in the academy, even Iruka Sensei, is jaw dropped by this because Naruto is holding Sasuke up by his leg. Naruto has enough strength to hold up a human being by their leg. Now, Naruto says, "Wow, Sasuke, with all that training you do, you feel just like a sword. I wonder how good it feels to swing one. Since I haven't been practicing, I've been spending more time with Ino." Now, as Naruto's saying this, he's twirling Sasuke around like nunchucks. Like, literally, swinging Sasuke around him like nunchucks. Now, as he's doing this, he's looking at Ino and he's saying, I'm thinking of where we should go tonight. I'm stuttering. Oh my god. Anyway, I wonder where we should go for dinner tonight. You know, as we talk more and learn more about each other, it's like this whole thing, this connection between us is growing. And Naruto stops with Sasuke's eyes just basically going all over the place as if he was dazed. Now, Naruto basically clenches Sasuke's leg and slams him directly into the ground like he's swinging a sword. Now, Sasuke would be unconscious by this, and Naruto would say, "Yeah, you need to train more, just stand up against me. I've been doing this all my life, so I don't blame you for being weaker than me." Anyway, Naruto would walk off, and that's just something I wanted to implement. Now, this is where Sasuke is going to have that bitterness towards Naruto. But it'll play out more as turn into rivalry when we progress through the story. Now, as Naruto and Sasuke, Team 7 has been established, and the rest of the teams are the same way as in canon, just Sakura is on a different team. So, Sakura will be on Team Kurenai. Sakura replace Hinata. You get it. Now, let's continue. Now, as everything's playing out, we get ready for Kakashi to meet his team. Now, when Kakashi walks through the door, he felt as if he was cut 12 times. Now, he instantly scans the room and his eyes pierces with Naruto, and Naruto looks directly at him with a smile. Now, this is where Kakashi has a sweat drop, and he says to himself, "I might need to keep an eye on him. I don't know what just happened, but I felt as if my body has just been cut." Now, Kakashi would have a shortness of breath, as if he felt that death, like his spirit just died. Anyway, so he would tell the team that they're boring and interesting at the same time. Meet me at the roof. And in the poof of smoke, Kakashi was gone. Now, Naruto would do the same thing and say, see you guys at the roof, and teleport away. Now, Hinata would be with Sasuke, and the both of them would walk and talk. And this is sort of that thing where Hinata's getting nervous talking around Sasuke, seeming as if she's been watching Sasuke all her life, paying attention to him, paying close attention to him. So you see what I did there? Switched out the roles. Yeah, don't question me about it, but I switched out the roles. So Hinata is the one that was watching Naruto like Sasuke, and Sasuke is the one that saved Hinata from the bullies. I mean, and it worked out better because Sasuke beat the shit out of those bullies and made Hinata even like him more. Potentially, that's why she paid more attention to him. And Hinata's personality is like shifted. It's going to be a little more different than it was in canon. She's not going to be like stuttering or talkative like that. She actually put some effort in her training, like a lot of effort. As when she seen Sasuke saved her, that kind of motivated her, and it impacted on her as how strong can she get. She wants to stop being the whiny baby or the just start closed off. She wants to be open and be a ninja that can support her team. When that day that she's seen Sasuke stand up for her, she wants to be just that strong, to be able to protect someone like that, to protect people that she care about like that. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going off. So when Hinata and Sasuke finally make it to the roof, Naruto is sitting there with Kakashi, and Naruto just has his eyes closed, and this is what Kakashi says. All right, you two made it. Now, tell me about your goals, your aspirations, your dreams. Just talk about yourself. Now, Sasuke would be the one to go first. Now, you don't have anyone. Well, let's say it like this. Naruto would open his eye. You know, it's quite rude to tell us to talk about ourselves. Aren't you our Jonin instructor? You should introduce yourself first. You should tell us about you first. Now, this is what Kakashi says. All right, my dreams, I don't feel like talking. My dreams and ambitions, I don't feel like talking about. My hobbies are none of your business. My dislikes and likes, I never really thought about it. My goal for the future, still none of your business. Anyway, proceed. Now, Sasuke would say, well, my dream was not a dream. It's more like an ambition, and that I'm going to see it through. See, there's a certain someone that I want to kill, and I will avenge my fallen clan and resurrect my fallen Uchiha. Now, Hinata would say that, I want to be a strong Konoichi. I want to stop being inside a shell, and stop stop being weak. Well, to stand up and show my father that I'm not weak, so they can stop calling me useless, that I can be strong. And then this is where Kakashi looks to Naruto. Well, my goals are none of your business. My hobbies are none of your business. My dreams and aspirations, I don't feel like talking about. And yeah. Now, Kakashi would have a vein in his head for this, and this is where Naruto would say, I'm surprised you two even said anything. I mean, it's only common knowledge that you don't introduce yourself when someone does something like that. I mean, why so secretive? As a team, we're supposed to be open with each other. Is it a trusting issue, Kakashi-sensei? Now, this is what Kakashi would say. Never mind that. You are all to meet at the training field at 9 o'clock in the morning. Don't eat or you'll puke. And this will be the test to see if you guys are fit for my team. Now, Kakashi would poof away, and Naruto would say, oh, shit, I'm late. I have to go meet Ino for dinner. Well, I'll see you guys later. Now, Naruto would poof away in a plume of smoke, and Sasuke and Hinata would start conversing with each other. Most likely Sasuke is going home, but he's actually conversing with Hinata and saying, have you gotten a lot stronger from the time that I saved you? And Hinata saying, I've been training on and off. Just trying to perfect my Hyuga style and get my Byakugan to work better. Also trying to train on the 64 palms technique and the rotation technique. Also, the air palm is quite hard, but I'm training as hard as I can to master those techniques. And Sasuke said, well, I have time. I can help you if you want. And this is where Hinata would have a red face. She would blush and almost faint until Sasuke caught her and said, did I say something wrong to this girl? All I said is I can help her train. Oh boy. Now Hinata would wake up and she would say, I'm sorry, Sasuke, and then she would just like study off. Now Sasuke would just have a sweat drop to this, and yes, Hinata still has to get over the fact that she's a little shy. Yeah, I'm gonna keep letting there, so that's gonna be some growth with that. Anyway, so as they continue, Sasuke basically just goes to train by his lonesome, and Hinata basically just goes home and says that, wow, after all this talk about being a strong Kunoichi, I still have to overcome my shyness. Hinata would go to train on her own, and now we cut to the next day. Now, the next day, the team shows up, and Kakashi is late as usual, and over 2 hours late. Now, Naruto is doing some training, doing some push-ups and stuff like that, just practicing sword swinging and stuff, just with his hand. He hasn't basically got a sword yet because every sword he's used has broken. He needs a perfect weapon that can be matched with his strength. So as Naruto is practicing throwing kicks, punches, and just basically just doing his usual basic training, Hinata and Sasuke are conversing with each other, and they ask Naruto, like, would you mind training together? Naruto doesn't mind, and he says like he can show them a few techniques. See, Naruto is not gonna be like cold-hearted. He's basically gonna grow to that point. Only towards his enemies is Naruto gonna be cold-hearted. Even to an opponent that challenges him, he's gonna be like cold-hearted. But you will see as the story continues. Now, this is where Hinata and Sasuke's stomach will go to growl as they begin their training with Naruto, and he's showing them a few techniques and stuff like that. Getting well accustomed with each other being, well, a team. And this is where Naruto would say, Sasuke, you don't take it no hard feelings that I did what I did and slammed you into the ground, do you? And Sasuke has a vein in his head and says, yes, I do take it personal. And know that I will get stronger, Naruto, and re-challenge you again. Naruto smiles at this with a very devilish smile and says, I look forward to fighting you again. And you better come with your A game, because I'm going to come with mine too. As Naruto would just let out a sigh and says, because I really, really want to see how strong I am against the 3 swordsmen. And I think the first one on my list is coming very soon. So as Kakashi shows up, Naruto says, you guys didn't eat anything? And they shake their heads no. Well, pretty much you've seen how he was late the first day. Sasuke and Hinata shook their head yes. Alright, now chalk that up. What makes you think he's not going to be late today? Meaning as if you suffered for 2 hours and your stomachs are growling because you didn't eat. Anyway, so Kakashi Sensei, where were you this time? I was on the path of life. Anyway, this test is simple. You 3 are to get these 2 bells off my waist. If you do, you pass. And this is where Naruto puts a hand on his chin and he starts to think and he says, but there was only 2, so that means only 2 of us would pass this test. And Kakashi says, that's right. So get started. Whichever 2 of you pass, the other one goes to the academy. Now, Naruto basically turns his head to the side and then he starts to converse with his team, whispering in their ears. Now, this is where Naruto basically whispers in Sasuke and Hinata's ear, and he tells them a plan. Now, Sasuke and Hinata basically jumps in the forest, and Naruto's standing there quite still. Now, Naruto tells Kakashi that this is the first challenge that I've been looking forward to. I've actually been looking forward to this for a while. Naruto gets into a motion as if he's holding 2 katanas in his hand. And it's just basically nothing's there, but it's like he's manifest 2 katanas in his hand, and Kakashi can see this manifestation in his presence. Now Kakashi can feel Naruto's aura if it's this an intimidating, heavy aura. Now remember when I told you how Naruto projects his bloodlust onto an opponent? Kakashi sees Naruto as Orochimaru. I don't even think Kakashi was afraid of Orochimaru, so I don't even know why I would say that. Kakashi sees Naruto as the Grim Reaper. Put it that way. He sees him as death. And this is the kind of bloodlust that Naruto's projecting. He's making his aura feel like he's like out for blood. Now Naruto takes a step and he instantly appears right in front of Kakashi, sending a slash straight towards his chest. Now, it wouldn't do much of anything, just basically startle Kakashi, and then he would get a huge kick to his face, sending him tumbling amongst the ground. Now, Kakashi would get up and wave hand signs and shoot out a huge fireball at Naruto, to which Naruto says, "Two sword style is one," and raises his hand up in the air and slices the fireball in half. And then he looks at Kakashi. His eyes glow red as he says, "You're going to have to do better than that." Now, Naruto instantly body flickers all around Kakashi, and Kakashi is trying to do his best to catch up with Naruto as he feels a huge slash to his back. Now, Naruto really did cut him this time. Now, this is where Naruto tells Kakashi, "You better use that Sharingan of yours, because if you don't, I'm going to send out slashes all over your body. Each and every one, you're not going to be able to dodge unless you use that eye." Kakashi is calling Naruto's bluff, and this is where Naruto says, "All right." Each and every time Kakashi tries to block, evade, or counterattack, Naruto is always 2 steps above him. He sent a slash to his arm, a slash to his leg, a slash to his foot, a slash to his neck. Naruto was cutting Kakashi all over his body, and it was very harmless cuts, but it was enough to do damage, and Kakashi was like back breathing from this. Like, Naruto's bloodlust is heavy and is exhausting to be around. Now, Kakashi is basically jumped back and he's trying to get some room from Naruto, which Naruto's letting him. He's letting him get some room. He's not going to try to overwhelm the battle, basically get the battle so that it would be over in an instant. Now, this is where Naruto starts to yawn. He lets out a huge yawn, and it's basically him insinuating that Kakashi's not even a challenge to him. Now, Naruto tells Kakashi, "If you're not going to get serious, then why should I?" Naruto holds up his hands and he shows Kakashi the bells. It's so easy to take something like this from your waist. But in the end, I don't even think this is what this whole test was about. Now, Kakashi was caught off guard to when Hinata came in and shut off 2 of his chakra points in his arm, basically making Kakashi's arm go numb. Now, Kakashi would turn his spin kick and kick Hinata away and catch Sasuke's foot. But he wouldn't see, he was distracted when Sasuke came in with the kick to see that Naruto came in and slashed him under his arm. Basically, under the arm, crossed the back. So he slashed him like that. And this is where Kakashi would let out a scream in agony. And this is where he would grab Naruto and punch him directly in the stomach, kick Naruto in the face, and grab him by his hair and knee him directly in the face. Naruto triggered something. And this is where Naruto, blood is coming out of his nose, and he just smiling, really smiling. The battle has just got intense. And this is where he tells Sasuke and Hinata to stand down, as this is one of the battles that he has on his list. Kakashi Hatake. Now, as Naruto and Kakashi is getting into an intense battle with each other, each and every strike is countered by Naruto, and Naruto is landing some devastating blows to Kakashi, but Kakashi is counter-striking with his own. And Kakashi even lifted up his own headband, revealing his 3 Tomoe Sharingan, which shocked Sasuke to even know that Kakashi has a Sharingan. Kakashi is getting so serious with Naruto, as if they're fighting in complete unison. But Naruto starts to get 2 steps, 3 steps, no, 4 steps above Kakashi, and he tells Kakashi that it's over, as Kakashi felt 12 slashes to his body. Now, these slashes were just spirit slashes into his plane, but he sent 12 slashes to Kakashi, and Kakashi just fell to the ground, sweating, panting heavily. And Naruto basically sits down crisscross and says, The real point of this test was teamwork, but I had different goals. I have to admit that. You see, I did whisper to Sasuke and Hinata that we should take this test as a way to work as a team. So I gave them a plan to say, when I got you on the offense, to basically when you let your guard down, is for Hinata and Sasuke to attack, which they did. But then it started to get more personal for me because you're one of the swordsmen that I want to fight. I mean, your skills, you were very strong when you were in the Yanbu, weren't you, Kakashi? Kakashi would be wide-eyed by this. And this is where Naruto would say, but you didn't live up to my expectations. And Kakashi said, I was holding back. There's still some things that you really don't think that you haven't seen that I could do. Well, I know that you're a copy ninja. You copied over 100 jutsus, maybe even 1,000. Who knows? But if you're talking about your whole lightning blade thing, basically, I would have embarrassed you with that. Lightning doesn't scare me. And this is where Kakashi would raise an eyebrow to this. Are you crazy, Naruto? Or are you just is something really wrong with you? No, nothing's wrong with me. You can even ask the third Hokage. Lightning really doesn't faze me. Your lightning blade attack, I have a counter for that. A huge counter, which would shock you. Now, Kakashi would be wanting to test out this theory. He wants to see what Naruto's talking about because his curiosity is at its peak right now. Is this boy really challenging him to use his lightning blade? And this is where Naruto would say, you're thinking about it, huh? It's etched onto your mind. I have already set it in stone. Curiosity has already burdened itself in your heart. You want to use it. You want to use your lightning blade against me, don't you? Well, come on. Naruto sits up. And you see, as if this right here, Naruto's standing just like this. His aura and this purplish-like energies just starts to flow over Naruto. And he tells Kakashi, make your move. I will show you why your lightning blade won't do a damn thing against me. Now, Kakashi is eager. He starts weaving the jutsus and he forms the lightning blade. Now, Kakashi stands up at this. He was already exhausted. Now, Kakashi is using not saying he's at zero. His energy is at zero. Well, his chakra is at zero. He has enough to do one lightning blade because he wants to see what Naruto's talking about. Now, Kakashi charges up the lightning blade and Sasuke sees this and he's shocked. Well, mostly amazed by the potential. He's amazed by the fact that Naruto is pushing Kakashi like this. And this is where Kakashi blitzes Naruto fast as hell. Speeds that Sasuke and Hinata have this. In a blink of an eye, he was gone. Naruto's eyes were wide as Kakashi was right in front of him with his lightning blade, aiming for Naruto's heart as Kakashi's lightning blade was caught directly in Naruto's hand and he was shoved to the ground. Now, Kakashi would say, what the hell? Naruto would say this, when I was 6 years old, I told the Lord Third that I wanted to test out my abilities, to see just how durable I really was, to see what I was capable of doing. I noticed from when I challenged Might Guy to a fight, he sent a headbutt at me. A powerful headbutt that could have literally smashed my face in to the point I would have had to get surgery. But it was as if he was moving so slow to the point I could just motion my hand to where I would touch his head and just parry his whole attack and push him towards the ground. I wasn't kidding when I told you I could catch your lightning blade. But I also didn't mention that I would sustain some damage. See, you managed to cut my hand. That's only a small cut, but still, that's the damage that you managed to do. But you should take in note, and it's a scary fact to even notice that this is the only damage that piercing attack could ever do to me. Now, Kakashi would see this, and this is where now Kakashi sees a roaring tidal wave behind Naruto. And this is where Kakashi just starts to shake. And Naruto would turn off his bloodlust and he would back away. I'm not here to scare you, Sensei. I'm just here to make it interesting for you. I mean, you did say we were boring. Now, Kakashi would start to look at his team and everything. And they did have somewhat coordinated teamwork, but still, though, he passed him. He passed him because Naruto still did manage to take the bells, and he ended up giving one to Hinata and Sasuke, seeming as if they tried their hardest, so they should be a part of a team. He can always prove his skills because his main goal is to be the top strongest. I mean, if he doesn't have a team, he can still meet his goals by himself. So, as the Team 7 is formated, and they've been doing D-rank missions for 3 weeks almost, this is where Naruto basically slices down the door to Lord Third's office. And this is where Hiruzen would have a sweat. Now, Naruto would walk in and saying, Lord Third, now, this is getting very, very boring. I get that saving... this is the stuff that I did back when I was a kid. When I was basically learning out my abilities. Chasing after cats, running away from the villagers and stuff. Why are we doing D-rank missions? You've seen my skills. Now, this is an insult. We should fight. I want to fight. Let's go outside, Lord Third. I want to see how far, strong I've gotten. I wanted to show you just how strong I've gotten. And the third Hokage says, Naruto, that's no need, as he's shaking his head very fastly. I was going to call you in 2 days anyway. 2 days later anyways, but you beat me to it. So, as of now, I'm going to assign you guys a C-rank mission. You are to escort this guy here, Tazuna, from the Land of Waves, as Tazuna walks in all drunk. And before he could even utter the words, Naruto had just looked at him very casually. And Tazuna felt as if his body was cut just one time, just around the neck. Like a whole cut around the neck. And Tazuna was about to just insult the team until he just... So, this is the people that are gonna, these are the people that are gonna escort me to my village. And Hiruzen would blow out his pipe and say, yes. Make sure that he gets there in one piece. And Naruto says, oh, no promises. Now, this is where Tazuna would swallow. Now, as Team 7 gets ready for their journey, now, one thing I do have to mention. Naruto's skills at this point is at low, let's put it like this. High Jonin, low Kage. That's where he's at right now. I mean, he just bested Kakashi. You know how much of a prodigy Kakashi is? So, yeah. Now, as we continue on, the Team 7 is walking, escorting Tazuna. This is where Kakashi gets attacked by two demon brothers. But as Kakashi gets attacked by two demon brothers, Sasuke handles one of them, knocking the one unconscious. And Naruto seemingly pulls out his sword and chops the other one directly in half. Sends his sword clean through his body. And then he sheaves his blade as the man just falls dead to the ground. Now, this is where Naruto basically says, whoa. See, that's what happens with reflexes. You shouldn't sneak up on someone like that. And you can come out now, Kakashi. I guess I left that. I could have killed that guy too, but I seen that Sasuke had it, so I didn't want to intervene. And it's good, though. Now you can interrogate that guy and find out why he attacked us. Because this mission is a little sketchy. But I'm getting excited. As Naruto sat down. And his eyes would just go white. As Naruto's basically getting excited. Because he wants to hear if this mission is really a C-rank mission. Because he feels as if it's higher. He feels as if today is the day that his dream, his battle, his experience is gonna come true. Now, as Naruto's shaking and he's clenching his hands, Kakashi goes to Tazuna as when he done interrogating the demon brother, he goes to Tazuna and says, "Explain yourself. My family is very poor. We can't afford a higher ranked mission, so I could only get a C ranked. To be honest, I'm being hunted by Gato and his gangsters. He sent those guys after me and they're trying to kill me. I'm not surprised who else might come next. So if two Chunin came, I'm pretty sure something else, someone high ranking is going to come next." And this is where Naruto will say, so in other words, this is sort of like a B ranked and A ranked mission. And Tazuna would say, yes, exactly. More like an A ranked mission. And Naruto's aura would flex, giving all of them cold chills down their spine. Naruto would stand up and he would say, I can feel it. I can feel it. Naruto would let out a scream that would make the birds in the trees fly away. And this is where he would say, let's continue on. I promise you, old man, I promise you that after today, after a few days from now, your family is going to be living rich. You're going to be living happy lives, and you won't be bothered by Gato and his gangsters anymore. That's a promise. Naruto sends a thumbs up at Tazuna, which gives him it erases the chill-like feeling he got from Naruto and sends more of a happy feeling in his body. Now, as they're continuing on, mist starts to, form around them, and this is where Kakashi would say, get down, as Naruto is just standing there, and the executioner's blade is come swinging, and Naruto catches the handle with such ease, and throws it back at such speed that cuts Zabuza directly across the chest. Now, this is where he falls to the ground and grunts out in pain, and the mist starts to fade away. Naruto stands there with a smile on his face, and his eyes are wide as Naruto says, this is it. Zabuza Momochi, I challenge you to a Kenjutsu battle. Zabuza with his hand on his wound, and he grabs his sword, and he's saying, who is this brat? You really think you have a chance against someone like me? Now Naruto says, you seen what I just did, or do you want another demonstration? As Naruto basically instantly is in front of Zabuza and sends a knee directly towards his chin and punches, as soon as he hits Zabuza up with his knee, he slaps him directly back towards the ground. And Zabuza's head is ringing from that experience as Naruto basically stumps the ground to send Zabuza's body right back up and delivers a huge gut punch and sends Zabuza flying into a tree. I didn't know how to say that right. Sends Zabuza flying into a tree, which breaks in half. Now, this is where Naruto would say, is that enough demonstration for you? Or do you need me to basically use my sword? Now, this is where Zabuza would be angered that this brat is doing this to him, and he would rush at Naruto with anger in his eyes and saying, I'll kill you, you stupid brat. And this is where their swords would clash, and Naruto would say, Kakashi, sensei, I feel like you want to intervene in this battle, but I'm going to tell you now, if you do, I'm not responsible for if you lose a limb. You're going to get hurt. I am not holding back. So this is a warning. Stay out of it. As he looks at Kakashi with his eyes fierce. Now, Naruto is saying this while in sword battle with Zabuza. Now, as the two titans are clinging swords with each other, Naruto slashing Zabuza all over his body. And this is where Naruto says, you have a nice body, I can cut you as many times as I want. Naruto is sending slashes across Zabuza's body, his legs, his back, his neck, his arms, his forearms, even across his chest. Everywhere that Naruto can cut Zabuza is having a hard time, and this guy is in so much pain because Naruto is sending cuts in areas that, oh my god, I don't even need to mention this. Naruto is cutting Zabuza everywhere. Except for his eyes. He's cutting Zabuza all across his body. Sort of similar to the fight with Miyamoto Masashi against Pickle. I'm pretty sure that some of you, if not all of you, have learned about Baki and you read the mangas. So you know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure a majority of you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, Masashi went against this guy named Pickle, and he was cutting this guy as if he wasn't cutting through bone or nothing like that. This man was just cutting Pickle skin. That's all he was. And he could cut this guy as many times as he wanted. He just could never sever his limbs. He was aiming to cut Pickle in half, cut his arms off, cut his head off and stuff like that, but it just never worked because Pickle's skin is just so thick. So, as Naruto is doing this, Zabuza is on the ground and, he's on one knee, bleeding out. like bleeding heavily, as Naruto, he has a lot of wounds over him. And Naruto looks at Zabuza and says, "Whoa, this was very fun. It's just like I imagined it would be. I only came out of this with only 3 injuries. I thought it would be more than that." Naruto raises his sword up in the air as 2 Senbon would come flying at Zabuza, but Naruto would deflect them away, and he would see this ninja come out of nowhere. It was a hunter nin. Naruto said, "You're not finna steal my battle." Naruto projects his bloodlust onto Haku, heavy as hell, as Haku looks at Naruto as if he's seeing fear, like fear incarnate. This boy is choking up, having spit come out his mouth. His body is contorting. It's like he's having a seizure. And Naruto basically says in his head, "If you intervene, you will be dead in less than a second. I promise you that. This is none of your business." Haku still manages to get up and says, I have to protect Zabuza. I will protect Zabuza." And he's getting up. He's trying his hardest to just walk over there. And Naruto basically just casually unsheathes his sword and walks towards Haku. "I gave you a warning." And slashes the boy's head off very easily. But you didn't listen. When I'm like this, the only thing I see is war. That means anyone who tries to save my enemy will die. No excuses. Now Naruto looks right back at Zabuza and says, "For something that you treated like a tool, why are you crying?" "Because that boy was not a tool. He was more like a son to me." "Well, that's a bad way to treat your son. That's a bad way to raise your son. How do you think these people felt? These poor people that you and this Gato person are treating like shit. You can't see that they're starving. You can't see that they're hungry. What part of this looks okay to you? Huh? What part of this makes it looks like this is all sunshine? No, what you did was disgraceful. You were taking food out of these people's mouths. They barely even had enough money to support themselves. Families. How many of them have you killed? I don't want to know your backstory. And I'm pretty sure you have your own reasons for doing what you did. But still, I have my own reasons, and I could give a damn about the sob story or anything else. I have my reasons for fighting you, and it's to become the strongest swordsman in the world. The strongest ninja in the world, to stand at the top. That's my goal. So it was fun battling you, Zabuza. But this, Naruto says as he slashes his sword down with such force, as Naruto basically closes his eyes as a tear comes out, is the end for you. And his sword just goes straight down the middle of Zabuza. He's kneeling down. Zabuza is just standing quite still as the blood just spurts out of the middle, and he just falls on the ground. Now, Naruto wipes his blade, and he sheathes his sword. And he bows to Zabuza, saying, "Thank you for the battle. You are truly one of the 7 deadly swordsmen. And it was an honor to fight you." Naruto stands back up, and he looks at Gato and says, "Well, this should be a breeze now. Fixing your bridge and getting everything situated in your village. Yeah, this should be a breeze." Now, Naruto protects Inari from Gato's gangsters, and everything plays out pretty much normally. Just as normally as you would guess it would play out. Now, as everything's getting settled, the bridge is getting built, and Gato's getting some help from Naruto as he uses his shadow clones to help Gato build the bridge. Kakashi's also training Sasuke and Hinata in chakra control, getting their chakra control up there. And Sasuke, at this point, it's not so much of a rivalry. He sees Naruto as Itachi, he has a slight fear that's growing, and it is getting stronger. I mean, Naruto just killed 2 strong ninja in the most brutalist ways. And Sasuke, seeing this, who wouldn't be scared by this? I mean, his presence alone, well, battling with Kakashi, he wasn't like strong enough to send chills down Kakashi's spine. So yeah, Sasuke has a fear against Naruto, and he's just starting to grow. But it's nothing that is gonna separate them, or basically say, I don't want to be on the same team as you. I'm too scared of you. No, the fear is that Sasuke feels inferior to Naruto, so he doesn't want to be on the back foot. He wants to train harder so that he can stand as Naruto's equal or even above him. This is just pushing Sasuke's to like more attitude to train more harder. So everything plays out normal, and when Gato and his men come up on the bridge, they get slaughtered by Team 7. And this is where Team 7 would play a role. Like, Kakashi did his part, Hinata would do her part, Sasuke would do his part, and Naruto would do their part. And Gato would not live to tell the tale. Now, the bridge would be named the Dark Hero Naruto. Yes, because what Naruto did, that's Gato is calling the dark. Anyway, so as everything played, they go back to the village. This is where Kakashi would go and meet with Lord Third and tell him the news. Now, Naruto would go and meet with Ino, and it's been a while since they've seen each other. They would be catching up, Naruto would be telling about how his mission went, and Ino would be saying how her missions went and everything, and they would go out to get food. And this Hinata and Sasuke would start like conversating more. Hinata wouldn't be getting so red in the face, and they often would start training with each other, even talking or going out to eat and stuff like that. So yeah, the relationship between Hinata and Sasuke is constantly growing too. Sasuke is starting to see that Hinata is strong, and she has some potential in getting strong. And he also is weirded out that she watches him. She's been watching him. That she hasn't like came up to him and just said hi or for once. Anyway, so as that's playing out, Kakashi would come back and tell the team about the Chunin exams and what the Chunin exams is going to be about. But he also tells the team that he's recommended them for the Chunin exams. So this is where Naruto smiles. Sasuke gets like happy, like he has this little cool like emo type smile, you know, like Sasuke is. And Hinata just holds her hands together and says that Kakashi has faith in his team. He has faith in his team, but he has faith that Naruto will get them through this trial, even if they might fail. So yeah. Anyway, so as everything's continuing, Kakashi tells them that they have 2 weeks to train before the Chunin exams begin. And this is where Team 7 does a little group training therapy. So Naruto basically helps Sasuke awaken his Sharingan to the Tsutomoe state in both eyes. He also helps Hinata perfect her 64 palms and the rotation jutsu. So she's also getting perfected at that and getting stronger at that. He's also improving their taijutsu. With only the weeks they got, he's just like touching here, touching there. Like he's just touching upon certain things, just getting them stronger. And also the experience is also going to help out with their training too. So Naruto tells Sasuke and Sakura, get out of here. Sasuke and Hinata to basically use this as a training thing, because he is. Use this as practice, training to get stronger. This is all it is. Use this as ways to improve your chakra levels, to improve your own techniques. Naruto is giving them pointers about certain things. Now, as the Chunin exams approach, the team walks in and when they're confronted by this whole barrier with the two Chunin and the Genjutsu, Naruto basically just walks through with his whole team, and the Chunin are like shocked by this, but he just casually just walks through. Now, this is where Rock Lee would come flying out of nowhere with a dynamic entry, and Naruto would just duck. And this is where Rock Lee would spin around and he would look up at Naruto and say, "Naruto, the ninja of the sword, I want to fight you. I want to..." What just happened? What was that? Was I just cut? Nah, I was just playing with y'all. Rock Lee would block each and every one of these sword strikes that were coming at him very easily, and this is what makes Naruto smile. And Naruto would say, "Bring it on, Rock Lee." And the both of them would charge at each other, delivering various amounts of attacks to each other. But Naruto would catch Lee off guard and put his hand to his chest and 1-inch punch Lee to a wall, hard as hell. Now, Lee would get up staggered from this, and Naruto would be right in his face, sending a bunch of multiple barrage of punches Rock Lee way. Now, Rock Lee would dodge most of them, but he would be hit with many of them. And this is where Naruto would take his hand and slash through Rock Lee's chest, not cutting him, Not cutting him at all, but just giving him the pain of a slash. And this is where Rock Lee would kick Naruto back, but Naruto already blocked the incoming attack. And this is where Naruto looks up smiling with a very sadistic smile saying, "Whew, you are strong. You make me want to pick up my swords, but you have no intention. So I won't do that. I will respect you because you don't have the intention to hurt me or kill me." Rock Lee would be like, "What do you mean?" As Naruto rushes Rock Lee and delivers a huge uppercut to Rock Lee's chin, which Rock Lee gets sent up in the air with Naruto right there in his face. This is an attack that I learned from someone that's teaching you. He grabs Rock Lee, and in an instant, Naruto was kicked to the ground and Rock Lee was kicked into a wall. And Naruto basically gets back up, dazed from this attack, but he smiles and says, "I know that kick. It is all too familiar. That kick is incredible." Then his eyes fixated on Might Guy. And Might Guy saying, "You two need to quit. It's no time for that. Do this in the Chunin exams. This is where you two should fight each other." And this is where Naruto would say, "Or I could just fight you again, Might Guy. This could be very interesting." And that's where I'm going to end part 1 to What If Naruto Was Miyamoto Musashi's Reincarnation. Now, guys, let me know if you want a part 2 to this series. I'm sorry it took so long. I was working on it for days and days out, and it was taking a few days. I know I haven't posted a video in a while and stuff like that, but I had to just try to get everything correct in this. So, like, you guys, let me know if you want a part 2. This part is already long enough, and I'm not trying to make it too much long, but anyway, just let me know if you want a part 2 to this series. Without any further ado, you guys have a good day, a good night, and plus ultra.